Welcome back to DotaPit season number 2, 4ASC versus CM, or a Moscow 5, whatever they're choosing to be called thus far. 4 Anchors taking game number 1. I'm What a Civ from High Ground TV. With me, Blaze, as well as Mott Packs on stats. That was a dominant game 1, Blaze. What do you think's in store for game number 2?
Well, we're seeing a lot of similar bands here. Maybe the Ogre makes an appearance here instead of the Vengeful Spirit. But yeah, they just don't want to deal with the Sky Ogre. They know how good of a duo combo that can be. As far as what we're going to be looking at here, I don't know. I feel it has to be a little bit of a different draft. They're not going to be drafting the same vulnerabilities from either side. I think one big thing for Moscow 5 is they have to draft more than just one hero as far as teamfight control. Right now, it seemed like they had all their eggs in one basket on the Tide. He performed moderately well, but they needed him to be just 100% impactful if they were going to be able to make it through the mid game. This Brewmaster gives them a great opportunity for that. They can put this on Vigoth, they can put it in the safe lane. In either case, they're going to be able to actually have the initiation they want, and they're not going to be completely shut down just by the cooldowns alone.
Yeah, and moving forward, Brewmaster picked up this time by Moscow 5 there, and not wanting to play up against that one again. As honestly, I feel like, Boogie played extremely well, but I feel like everyone on 4 Anchors played fairly well. Jerox did die a couple of times, but I think that's sort of the territory when you're playing the Witch Doctor in a game versus Skywrath Mage. It's just pretty easy to die, and I don't know. It just seems like everyone played extremely well from 4ASC, and well, now they've got a Vengeful Spirit and a Dire Lycan.
Scary stuff. They're going to have a lot of physical damage to come through, even if they're not able to burst on the Brewmaster before a split comes through, because he, of course, is going to have that evasion from the Drunken Brawler, as well as some mischance from the Haze. It doesn't really matter. So other targets, they can go ahead, get a BKB up on the Lycan, and just burn through whatever squishy heroes they want to. Lycan can close distance very quickly in his shapeshift, and although he's not the same hero he once was as far as just instantly getting out of bad situations, he still is a very potent pushing force, a really good early Roche. And with the Vengeful Spirit, Wave of Terror, maybe a Medallion up, like they're going to be able to take that so very quickly. And instead, I really like this general game plan for 4 Anchors. It's win a fight and then do something else. Before, it was win a fight and take towers because they had Liquid Fire, they had Voodoo Restoration. Now it's pretty much you win a fight, you get a free Roche, because there's really no way to stop it if we're over 10 minutes into the game and you've killed off 2 heroes.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that one. And that's just part of the territory when you have that Dire Lycan, and part of why so many teams are just not willing at all to go up against it. It's brutal. There's no other way to put it. You make a small mistake, you die, and instantly Roche is just dead, and you're like, well, I guess we're losing the next fight too, because he's got an Aegis. So
yeah,
it's difficult, but we'll find out how Moscow 5 do want to try to deal with this one. They're taking quite a bit of time here, burning off a fair bit of their reserve time, trying to figure out a way to react to this Lycan. And what do you think the best ways are to deal with Lycan?
Oh, there's a few different ways. As far as going for ways to control the shapeshift, you can get something like a Naga Siren is really good. The Disruptor has been used in the past to control him pretty well. Treant isn't too shabby either. But if you're actually looking to out-tempo him, then you need a lineup that can actually deal with the pressure that he puts out. You need something that's less greedy, more active. I mean, the Razor's pretty good because when he's not in shapeshift, obviously you get the static link steal, and you can burn down the wolves decently with plasma field. But in general, you just need a hero that comes online a lot sooner, because if you're trying to go late game, if you're trying to go like a Medusa against the Lycan, you're going to have a bad time. Like, you need to make sure you have the pace of the game in mind when you pick your heroes, and you cannot go too greedy, otherwise you're just going to get run down.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that one. That's, I think, one of the problems is it's hard to go late because, you're playing against a Lycan who can just split push so easily. But if you do try to go for the early fights, then sometimes you just fall into that Roche situation like you're talking about, where you lose 2 of your heroes and then he just walks over to Roshan. So just a hard hero to deal with, honestly, especially on the Dire side. And a couple teams still like to flex their muscles with the Lycan occasionally and show that he's still top tier, even after just continual nerfs to Lycan and some changes. I guess some of the wolf things were not exactly nerfs, but obviously now with the shapeshift, much different. He still just seems to be incredibly good. You just kind of have to go for a BKB earlier.
Yeah, definitely. We even see blink daggers coming out on the hero now, because honestly, like the shapeshift time, you can nullify that by getting a blink dagger. You shapeshift, then you blink towards your target, and you actually are closer than you would have been in 6.81. So yeah, it's interesting for kind of going for the rat place with that kind of a thing. And we'll see if that's something to be considered. Either way, he's going to be taking down towers quickly. The Necronomicon can be really strong. And the overall potential of this hero, like I actually like right-click oriented builds from Lycan. Like if you get an armlet on the hero early, it's actually pretty insane. Not as insane as when he had the base attack time reduction as well as the crit, but still pretty darn good. We're going to see some good bans though. I like these bans from One Move Checkmate or Moscow 5. Tidehunter and Necrophos being taken out. That would be like... If they were able to pick up that in phase 2 of the draft, 4 anchors would have an absolutely devastating lineup that honestly has so many different factors and so many different threats that it's almost too difficult to answer. But we'll see right now what the answer is for them. Could go for like a Phoenix or something like that. If you look at Witch Doctor and Brewmaster, they aren't going to be getting many hero-based right-clicks on the Phoenix Sun. Like the Brewlings don't count. The Death Ward obviously wouldn't count. So yeah, a lot of the team fight could be preoccupied. But at least for right now, it just seems to be a lineup about early game activity, early game aggression, melting towers, and taking the game from there.
Yeah, now with the Death Prophet bundled with this Lycan, they're going to be able to apply ridiculous map pressure. I mean, you can have the Lycan pushing down one lane. You can have the Death Prophet ulting in the other, backed up by just about anyone, and they'll be able to take early fights here. Brewmaster's still going to be effective, though. Maybe trying to swing these fights, but this is a very, very, very scary early lineup here by 4ASC, and Jakiro smartly picked up, I think, by Moscow 5.
Yeah, I think that's going to allow them to halt the tempo a little bit here. I'm curious if it's just going to be a raw support Jakiro, as we've seen in the past. I mean, still has some decent counter push with the potential macro power they can lay down to just halt they push. Essentially, you see the ghosts come out, you see the exorcism use the wolves on their way, then you just burn down the entire creep wave, and at least you time out some of that. But if they follow this up with Drow Visage, they have to ban Drow here, right? Like, if they let Drow Visage, Death Prophet, Venge, and Lycan go through, it's just the end of the day. But even if they don't, like, they still get Howl for the familiars. Like, the Howl buff is still quite substantial for it, and it's going to make the physical damage just insane. They need to get something like a Sven or something that can deal with things armor-wise to mitigate the physical damage. Omni Knight wouldn't be too bad either. They need something that can just survive, because right now, 4 anchors are just going to be putting out way too much damage for them to deal with.
Yeah, the Drow definitely could be dangerous here, and they can just aggressively lane and then solo probably the Lycan. And this is just a really sketchy lineup. And Shadow Shaman,
I'm not feeling that pick, man. There are like a bajillion ways to cancel that. You've got the Swap, the Magic Missile, maybe Bash later from Lycan. You've got Silence and Yules from Death Prophet. You've got 2 familiar stuns. And end of the day, if he's just standing still trying to shackle, like, he's just going to be right-click down. So literally all he can do is defensively place Mass Servant Wards in this delay strat. Essentially, it works in the sense that, like, when the Death Prophet Exorcism is on cooldown, you can say, okay, we can push and drop down the Mass Servant Wards, and that will be pretty good. But as it stands, they're probably just going to be using them defensively and essentially waiting out the Exorcism by dropping down things like Macropyre and the Mass Serpent Ward, playing a delay of game on this draft.
Yeah, and Shadow Shaman just has gotten nerfed repeatedly. I mean, Shackles cost 140 mana now, level 1, and I'm not sure this hero is the dominant force that we used to see, so we'll have to find out here, but I definitely agree with you. I am not feeling it. I am not feeling that pick.
I feel he's underpicked, but this is not the draft to unveil the secret roster.
I mean, there's just so many ways for him to like accidentally die as well. And
they don't ban out the Drow.
Broodmother getting the last ban here. Seems like they actually have an okay lineup against the Broodmother. I mean, they have lots of AoE with the Jakiro and the Brewmaster. Clear that out. I mean, I think Brew does have his place. You know, against if no one can really clear the Spiderlings, and you have very squishy supports. The Spiderlings now are actually unbelievably annoying because since they phase, they get all their hits off at once on you, which is just incredibly awful. If you're a support, you're just like, all right, half my HP's gone. Sweet. But he's banned out.
And they would get the Howl buff here too.
Oh,
which would
okay. All right. Maybe that would be a little unfair. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't
I mean,
consider that.
the Treants, it's still the same idea here with the offlaning Nature Prophet. He's still going to be a good offlaner, survivable, can position himself right, and the time comes, he'll be pushing hard with the Howl infused Treants, but might not be as overwhelming as the Broodmother. So, yeah, they aren't going to be they can go for a defensive tri lane here. This is the thing. If they went for Drow, they would have to go for an aggro try with either the Lycan or the Drow as solo heroes. But as it is the Nature's Prophet, they can just go for the defensive try they want to with Lycan, Visage, Venge. And it's going to be absolutely insane how much damage everything is going to be doing. Like, all the heroes are going to be hitting pretty hard because of the Vengeful Spirits enhancements. She's going to be maxing Wave of Terror, though, because they also want to be amplifying the damage from the Familiars, which is, obviously, like I said, improved by Howl significantly. I still like the PA pick because this is one of the few heroes that can deal with all the physical damage from everything Four Anchors brings, other than Exorcism. You can't dodge that. But at the end of the day, I just don't know if she's going to have enough time to get off the ground and actually become a prime player here.
And if Vigos gets ganked as much as he did in the last game, he's going to have some trouble here. As we head into game number 2 for DotaPit. And does he really? He doesn't have the Arcana? God damn it, Vigos. Have some cosmetic standards. Unbelievable.
Seriously. Well, I mean, you look at Garter's effigy here. It's like the most generic title you could imagine.
Anti-mage.
These guys don't have flair. They don't have pizzazz.
Unbelievable. Well, let's do some quick introductions here. For Four Anchors, Matama Man, he's going to be on the Lycan, Jerax on the Vengeful Spirit. Boogie, going to be on the Visage this time around. Valix, going to be on that Death Prophet. And all the way down bottom, it's going to be Trixie on the Nature's Prophet.
Gonna leave up on the top lane Blow Your Brain to take up the Jakiro, maybe going for an Urn rather early with that item progression. It is gonna be Garter running on the Witch Doctor here, very bare bones consumables for him. Mid lane is gonna be the PA, so Trata aka Vigos looking for the early Poor Man Shield, and he will be dueling it out versus the Death Prophet as best he can. That's the Phantom Assassin. Down bottom we do have Tron on the Brewmaster, as well as Axmo on the Shadow Shaman. Now, Tron actually has the similar items to what we saw. Obviously, he doesn't need to worry about the Stout Shield since he doesn't have Kraken Shell, but as far as like the early consumables, the Tangles that have, he just doesn't want to be forced out of the lane against the Nature's Prophet. But generally speaking, I don't see that to be the issue. I see, like, let's say they put 2 people up top, I see the 2 versus 4 situation up top to be what Nature's Prophet really brings. Not the lane dominance in his own lane, but the global presence across the map.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one, and we'll see how this game turns out here. Both mid laners. Always like to investigate the block as a mid laner, and both doing quite well here. And I'm interested to see how this matches up. Feels like PA might be a little bit too delicate in this lane. Crypt Swarm going to be very, very annoying for her to deal with, and ends up being quite even here in the mid lane, both blocking really well.
Yeah, but she can stay back on the high ground at level. Once he gets level 3 and just cycling dagger down the creeps, the Death Prophet won't have enough right-click damage to actually deny, so that's going to be fine. Up top, there's going to be a nice little duel here. Boogie's going to take the brunt end of it, though. This guy is so damn squishy. Even with the Ring of Protection, he's taking only like 86% physical damage and 90% magical damage. Very low mitigation factors before the Gravekeeper's Cloak, and it just means that he can't really just stand and deliver the right-clicks and duel it out, especially against that Liquid Fire. Yeah,
he's gonna have to be very careful here, otherwise Boogie might be the target for some early kills, especially paralyzing cast with Ice Path follow-up could be very rough for him. And oh my god, when you attack spam on the crit, that's one of the most unpleasant sounds in Dota. And
oh really?
Trixie looks like he's doing just fine in this bottom lane, able to get full experience here, probably to be expected, to be honest.
So the Vengeful Spirit actually went for Wave of Terror level 1 and is jungling with it. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I guess they think they just can't go near this lane, but I don't know.
I think they can. I think they're just trying to like get a little greedy about it. Like obviously they could contest the lane more directly with Magic Missile, but I think with the Howl and you get that Wave of Terror out, you actually could get your own kind of independent experience without having to go for creep pulls exclusively.
That's true. I'm just trying to maximize the amount of experience they get out of the defensive tri lane. And I mean, if this duel lane doesn't get anything done, then they're certainly going to be a little bit behind. So we'll find out. Blow running forward here, does not have Ice Path.
Yeah, right now the Visage is only level 1 though. Really, the Visage doesn't come online until level 2. It gets a lot of potential once that Soul Assumption is available. And now finally, the Experience takes over to bring him to that stage of the game. So they could go for kills now once the Magic Missile is available. But Jerax is a little bit behind the laning support Boogie. And that means that he's going to have to keep doing his Wave of Terror thing. Stacks up the easy camp once over and is going to be able to take up a couple creeps here. In the meantime, Haste Rune is picked up for Garter. Will it go for a Choreo Snipe? It looks like they wanted it, but Valix all the way by his tier 2 to try to make sure that will be safe and sound.
Top lane, Boogie gonna heal up here as there is a rotation coming in. Jerax now does have the magic missile. Need to be careful. Garter's here. Should use the wolf, scout out what's going on. Looks like they're gonna poke their head in.
They aren't
nothing
invis,
gonna happen here from this rotation.
They're just going to be able to kill off a wolf or so because they don't go invis, and that is going to be just easy gold coming out for Garter here. But he's not really going to be doing too much. I mean, you look at his items, he's got Tangos and 250. At best, he's going to have Boost Speed, Magic Stick over the next several minutes. Like, he's not really going to have that much going for him, though he will be able to break out of Sprout if Trixie does rotate.
And looks like they're just content to continue farming up here with Matama Man doing fairly well. But Vigos is getting a lot of space in the mid lane. Although he's not doing too well in CS, actually. He's been shut down pretty hard by Valix. 10 denies from the Death Prophet.
Bad.
It's an interesting statistic. I like the bottom part, but there's Magic Missile on to Garter here. Paralyzing cast is going to come in. Trixie. Hal popped off here. Those treants going to work. Down he goes. First blood. Easily the way. Now they're going to try to block blow. Is he going to get stuck here? Nope. Does not look like he's going to be all right.
Yeah, it's an invisible Shadow Shaman, though, on the mid lane, and there's a lot of kill potential there. If Axmo is in the perfect spot to get the full duration shackles off, that's almost 3 seconds of disable at level 1, and it is absolutely insane how much they can do. Vigos does not have crit, though, and that would be, I think, the difference maker. If they had crit, that shackles could almost be enough to kill off Valix, but because he is only level 5, it's probably just going to be a very large source of harassment damage.
Blow. Gonna get some movement onto him here. There is not enough mana for the Magic Missile. Looks like he's gonna wander away, but mid lane, they are gonna go on Valix. Are able to complete pretty much exactly what you mentioned.
Yeah, they were able to get some nice body blocks in, so they got about 4 more auto attacks than I expected in that situation. Of course, the Death Prophet does move pretty slowly. Even with boots, he's only at 363. Needs that Witchcraft to really get her up to the pace of other heroes. So she does get gunned down, and that is going to be giving a very high value kill to Moscow 5.
Clearing out some room here for Vigos. Boogie is stuck in place.
That's not good.
This looks like a
you can't even
very
help him
dead
because of the cast.
Visage. Yeah, he is just dead.
If you come out, then you're just going to get caught by the cast stun anyways. You can't fight in the jungle like that. So just a nice little catch out there. And I guess we can look at his movement speed too. Tranquil Boots will give him a little bit more than he starts off with, 375, but naturally a very slow hero.
Oh, Vigos in the mid lane is playing with fire here. One Crypt Swarm away from death, but looks like he is going to be all right for the moment. Trying to just get some last hits here. Now has bottle. Should be fine.
Not too shabby. We'll be able to bottle up one of the 2 runes, I'm sure, because really, how could you possibly block out both runes just with the Nature's Prophet? Trixie would have to leave his lane, which he seems intent to not do at all. He's looking for phase boots. He's stuck down bottom against the Brewmaster, and it has pervaded him to have some CS, 13 and 3, but you look at the Brewmaster, he's got 34 and 9. Where did Tron get all this farm?
Yeah, Tron is just having no problem here. All that regen, the Stout Shield
there it is, the
coming
TP
into
top.
play. There's the Magic Missile on the blow. Looks like he's going to be caught into place. Sprout going to come through. He's dead. Tron's going to come in. Does have the ultimate. There's the clap. Going to get that off. Matumba Man going to be the target here. Does not have the ultimate quite yet. In comes Vigos.
Oh,
gets the
crit.
double crit on the Vengeful Spirit, who immediately dies. Trixie. Oh, that was...
wrong hockey.
Okay, wrong button pressed. Matumba Man has blocked himself in here, but now his invisible wolf's not going to be helping him much, and Matumba Man is going to go down here. Double kill for Vigos. This is the kind of start that a PA really, really wants.
Yeah, that was pretty insane. The rotation there giving 3-0 to Vigos, and he immediately TPs to the mid lane where there is the Exorcism in play. Blow Your Brain baiting a little bit here, will eat some damage, but there is some turnaround potential. Jumping in Volix, right click down, very high value trade to get the loss of the support for the death of the middle laner, and they're going to go on Jerax here.
Jerax
How do you get out of this? The Stifling Dagger, it's just too good.
Crit?
One more right click. No, it's no crit. Finally, Jerax will always play Ring Around the Rosie and barely goes down. now looking for the turn. Trixie and Boogie cannot pursue, and yeah, just evading all those right clicks under the tower. The tower keeps on striking the PA, but the 2 points in blur makes it pretty easy to take under that situation, and yeah, it's going to be able to bring him to 4-0-1, even at the cost of supports.
And Vigos is just going to work here. I mean, 7:30 in. This is the kind of start he wants. A normally very aggressive player, so him getting these early kills is extremely nice for him. Pushing his levels already up to level 8, and you know, has good farm as well. Looks like he's going to be going for very, very fast lifesteal. I like this on the PA. It's not like he needs the damage, so.
Yeah, it's going to be very nice for him overall. And again, they needed Vlad's carriers one way or another, so they'll go for it for the Brewmaster or for the PA, and that'll give them the ability to survive all this physical damage. Because really, the only magic damage is Soul Assumption, Magic Missile, and Wrath of Nature and Crypt Swarm. After that, there's absolutely nothing but physical right-click, and you have to be worried about it. So it's going to be a good item. She goes for the Vlads, or selfishly could go for the Dom. Either way, Matoma Man going to pop off the Shapeshift to get out of a bad situation. Does not want to feed another kill away to this PA, and without Shapeshift, that would have been exactly what happened. They're perfectly willing to dive and trade their support's lives for PA kills. They've shown that time and time again. The Shadow Shaman, the Jakiro, intentionally feeding their lives away to get the best opportunity they can for this PA, now going in onto Volix.
And it looks like Volix is going to be dead. There's one crit. Can he make it out of this one? Paralyzing cast, chained nicely. Down he goes. 5-0 for Vigos, who might be suffering a little bit in last hits because of all this movement, but with 5 kills, he is more than happy to make that little trade.
Garrick's rotating down bottom here, smoked up. Man, this Vengeful Spirit is as farmed as you can imagine. This is absolutely insane how many items she's been able to pull out, and she's going to be able to gank with the full force of that TP scroll.
Yeah, and if he's not careful, you know, he might run out of item slots here. Well, this is not the start you want on the Vengeful Spirit. Benefits quite a bit from even something as small as a Force Staff. Just being able to get those ultis in position, not even close to level 6, and or ASC struggling this time around to really get anything going.
Wow, crit on a dagger on Volix here. He's got to be very careful. Like, he's got the bottle to sustain himself, but Vigos just has so much tempo behind him. He's got the momentum, and he is able to sustain himself with the Morbid Mask. So at this point, they have to start investing 2 or 3 heroes to bring him down. The investment is, however, down bottom, and a TP response. It's the Brewmaster coming in. Jerax, he's using that TP scroll as best he can, and it is enough to survive by the skin of his teeth.
That one item going to come into play now, and trying to take down these Treants. He's going to get all of them.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Yeah. Blow your brain. Doing just fine thus far, and poor Jerax. Well, now he has a smoke and a clarity to complement the TP scroll, but this is as poor as you can imagine. Net worth of 314. At least Garter's got boots.
Game is hard, but yeah, it's the life of the lowly jungling support bench. It's just not going to be helping out until he gets some rubber band gold. When they kill off the PA once or twice, they're going to be feeling good because she's got like a mega kill streak right now. So she is like extremely high value, but look how low he is right now. He has an Invis Rune, but like he's playing with fire. Crypt Swarm will come out. Oh, he dies! Oh, Vigos.
You know, if I had a soundboard, I would play the dun 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 That's just to pick off that. That should just not happen. Like, he's just a little bit too greedy, gets caught in the front there, and Lycan able to take down the tower on the back of that. And, I mean, he has to be kicking himself. He had a full bottle and thought he could get away there, trying to get that one more last hit. That's unfortunate.
Shenanigans. But they have all their ultis available. Jarek's going for the TP away, and it is the highest value TPs you can ever get. Just avoiding death. But Blade Rain at bottom is being absolutely destroyed by the Wolves.
Tower's gonna go down. He's gonna go down. But took him a long time to kill him. Now Boogie getting caught, crit in the top lane. Brought on down. And Trixie now does have the Midas completed, so it looks like they're gonna be going for the long term here. I mean, they have the Lycan, they have the Nature's Prophet. Death Prophet not able to get as much going this game as he did in the previous, but Valak's not having quite the impact, but he has been able to, you know, take down this middle lane tower. He's been participating in fights. He's almost level 11, which is when that ultimate really comes alive, really starts to put out tons of damage. But Tumbleman continuing to pressure here, so 4 anchors are getting good trades. It's really just Vigos who's going crazy.
Yeah, so we do see them actually looking to steal the stack from Volix. This could be huge. Volix is trying to clear this out with Grip Form. Actually pretty much gets all of it. Half experience goes to PA, but she's going to try to go for the solo kill. Since there's no Yules, there's no life. Volix going down to the PA once more. And at this point, they're going to be losing their mid tower to the Liquid Fire plus Mass Serpent Wards. And it's going to be harder for them to take Roach, which is an extremely large deal for 4 anchors. They have Medallion, they have Familiars, they have Wolves. They need this Roshan. They have the Vladimirs up on Lycan as well, so they have all the tools they need to do it. But without the proxy towers to actually TP to and get into it, they're going to have to fight for it. And that doesn't bode well for them.
Yeah, and 4 anchors need to figure out how to get something moving here. I mean, this is just not really... They're so far behind at this point. It looks like they are going to go for Roche. That is more than spotted out here by the Radiant side to have a ward sitting right here. Are they going to try to stop it is the question. Vigos is here. Garter is spotted out here by Jerax. He's going to drop down the magic missile, but now Vigos coming back in, turning this around. Jerax creating some space here.
He's got the blink.
Are they going to get this? Tron moves forward. Does not look like this Roche is going to finish. Matumba Man going to come forward. Death Ward caught them in the pit. Vigos. He goes to work, and now Matumba Man caught by a stun. Looks like... What? Nope, he's alive, but they are not going to get this Roshan, and... Looks like they're going to try to deny the Aegis here with all of these just hordes of familiars. But nope, PA going to grab it. Now Valix trying to go to work. Down goes Axmo, but now he's going to be blown up.
Goodbye.
This is just not going well. It's regeneration here for Vigos as well. And Hero takes down the top tower. Jeez.
They're just getting everything they want out of this game.
Things are not getting better for 4 anchors now. They lose that Roshan attempt. That was pretty all in, I would say.
Yeah, they really went gung-ho about that. They knew that it was very important, but like I said, they were going to have to fight for it. And up against the split, that's a dangerous proposition. They walked in under the Observer Ward. They went for a gambit that definitely didn't pay off. And honestly, right now, I would say that with the exception of the Vigos feed, they've been playing a perfect game. Moscow 5 have been just absolutely destroying, and they have earned every penny that they've acquired. But what does PA go next? Like, at this point, I don't, like, do you go for the BKB? Do you rush a Satanic because you can? Like, where do you see this PA's items progressing?
Could go for something like a Basher. Now, I just look like I copied. But, you know, Basher, I think, is a good choice here because it gives you a little bit of extra lockdown. It helps you stop the TPs a little bit. Nature's Prophet has gotten away from him a couple of times. And, you know, also can stun up, of course, on Matumba Man. I really like the blink here, and I think Abyssal, really the end goal, is just an amazing item on PA.
Oh, it certainly is. It definitely has a lot of potential there, but I'm worried about her squishiness a little bit. Obviously, if she gets silenced, she can't Phantom Strike to safety, and they can burn her down quickly with Magic Missile Soul Assumption. So she has to be wary that although she has nearly maxed Blur, that she is still vulnerable to the magical damage, and the Basher doesn't really give you that much as far as survivability goes. So 6 strength, it'll help, but in the end, she still has to be wary of when she chooses to engage, have the supports behind her with the Voodoo Restoration and such.
Yeah, Vigos definitely does have to be a little bit careful here, but engagement here, Jerax caught again.
Oh.
Now has at least boots for himself, but down goes the Shadow Shaman. Death Ward gonna go out here. Vengeful Spirit is gonna go down. Are they gonna be able to catch Boogie? Nope, Garter, he's dead. TP out. Matumba Man, I think they're gonna converge on this tier 2 bottom. They want to try to take advantage of the fact that they just won a little skirmish there, but they're going to lose their top tier 2 because of it.
Yep, PA doing some good right click. It doesn't have the Vlads for the push or anything.
Trixie has
they've got the Jakiro. That's plenty.
That's a or Tron rather, sorry.
Yeah, when you're this far ahead, there's absolutely no reason not to. I mean, you can go for Vlad's AC and Aghanim Scepter all in the same game if you get this Hand of Midas before the 20-minute mark. So he goes for it now, and actually going to be engaging down bottom.
And they're going to catch Valix here, eats the stun. They're up in the air. His Matumba Man does not have the shapeshift. Trixie looks like he's going to make it out of here. Matumba Man, they're not going to be so lucky as they do get the tower, but what's going to be the cost for them now? Valix is up in the air. Ghosts are returning, but he's already full HP. Blow taking damage. Valix going to try to make it out. Ice Bath going to go down. Just catches him at the end. Down he goes. Double kill for Tron. He's going to try to get himself a couple familiars, too.
Ooh, and Visage in the mid lane is going to be dropping very quickly. Grave Chill will speed him away, but is it going to be enough? Yes, the TP. Bash is not happening.
No Bash.
And
Gets it on the creep. That's gotta hurt.
And then bashing and critting all the creeps, man. That's some spite RNG right there.
Yeah, and well, Vigos not gonna get that one, but still they win the fight even though they lose the tier 2. They do get the tier 2 of their own with Jakiro just pushing so fast, and we saw this in the last game as well. That maxed out liquid fire, not something to be trifled with.
Yeah, Trixie in a bad spot here. Really just needs to survive, get a Maelstrom up or something, but he's not going to have the chance. One bash is all you need, and he is going down.
Right click down by Vigos, and in mid lane engagement, Matama Man trying to force blow back from the tower, just keeps dropping down those liquid fires, doing tons of damage there. 40 seconds until we have the Brew ultimate back online. That's the go time for Moscow 5. That is their signal to keep moving. Valix does have the Yules now, does also have a Vid booster, so trying to just make it so he can actually live. The Yules, very, very good on Death Prophet for obviously a variety of reasons. Lets you run away faster. Being able to Yules yourself can be quite valuable during your ultimate, and of course stop people with your offensive Yules as well. So love that item, very, very common. Matama Man maybe gonna take some damage here. Ooh. Nice swap from Jerax. Now he's going to turn on the ultimate, turn this one back around. He's going to be caught by the cast, which is going to bounce to the wolf. Magic missile onto Vigos, and this is what you're talking about. Although he does still have the Aegis, that has to be going away soon, so maybe he likes to use here. But now Trixie is dead. Ice Path, Macro Pyre down. What a really nice engagement by the Jakiro. Somehow Vigos still alive, still hitting away. Does have the Phantom Strike here now. Matama Man looks like he has forfeited his life. Down he goes, and there's that Aegis getting reclaimed right at the end of the fight. But 2 for 4. Bloodbath for 4 anchors.
This lineup for 4 anchors just did not work out the way they wanted it to. They wanted to be the aggressors. They wanted to be on the front end of all of this. They wanted to push down towers. But end of the day, their lanes didn't work out the way they wanted to. And you just got to look at it. The fact that PA went, you know, like I would say she got about 70% of the CS that Volix did, that was to be expected. But the fact that Nature's Prophet lost the bottom lane so hard to the Brew was actually quite surprising. Oh, wow.
Very, very nice ice path there. Vigos needs to be careful. And it does look like maybe Blow's going to pay for this one, but he has created space here for both Vigos and Tron to get out of here. So Silence is going to miss, and he is up in the air. Got to imagine that might be the end for him, although he does have his own Yules. Maybe he can pull something out of a hat here. Nope, just delaying the inevitable as he is going to go down.
Yeah, Matoma Man just didn't get the start he wanted. They weren't able to... Usually, Lycan's able to just kind of freely farm his safe lane if you get that tri-lane for him, and then he rotates in the jungle so that the Visage can farm the lane. So the Visage can build up his items, and Lycan can keep doing his thing in his own jungle. That's why Radiant Jungle Lycan is actually really strong, because the second he rotates into his jungle, it's just so well spaced out that he can enhance his GPM even more than what he had in the lane, as long as he has wolves at level 3 or higher. But as it stands, Matoma Man hasn't had control of his own jungle, didn't really get that much out of the lane, and he just doesn't have the farm he needs to keep pace with what's being thrown at him. This Brewmaster, this PA, they're both tearing through the opposition, and like we said earlier, the Moscow 5 supports are perfectly willing to die for the cause. They go in, they get a couple disables out, and then they let the Brew and the PA do their thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tron just continuing to go to work here now with that Midas. Interested to see where he goes from here. Garter has picked up a gem. We'll see who's actually going to be the holder of that one. And the other thing is, you know, they have the Jakiro to knock down the towers, but you also saw Axmo just run up, drop down the wards on this middle tier 2, and that's dead.
Mm-hmm. And now, like, where do you go from here? Like, how do you actually get back control of the map as a whole? Right now, Dire Observer wards are pretty much non-existent. Yeah, not a single one on the map. The enemy does have a gem on the Brewmaster, which is probably going to be in his hands to the bitter end of the game.
Yeah, Boogie, he's dead, caught out by the smoke gank. Down he goes. Matana Man has just been hiding down here in the Dire jungle. Now going to come back out, but...
And that's the only place
that was a big smoke ganks, and only getting the Visage for that, that could have been much worse for 4 anchors, I think.
Sure. At this point, the full team wipe and...
Yeah.
The tier 3 and Rax is not out of the question for what Moscow 5 can do in the next 2 or 3 minutes. So you definitely have to just cut your losses, lose what you do, and actually get a courier snipe here, actually towards the mid lane. It is Trixie to make the play, TPing out immediately after.
Yeah, there was nothing on that one, so not a huge deal there.
Yeah, I love the wards from Moscow 5, though. I mean, just getting the high ground plateau on the bottom, getting the secret shop covered up, for any rotation towards Roche or towards the Ancients, they've just got it covered so that if 4 anchors is trying to farm where they shouldn't be, CM can punish it.
Yeah, and interested here. to see how Four Anchors can try to recover from this one, but seems like it's a tall order at this point. I mean, they do have the Lycan. If the game goes late enough, maybe there's an opportunity for them, but things are not going well. Now Trixie is caught by Vigos. He is, whoop, goodbye. Crit by the dagger, crit by the sword, and he's going to go down shortly. And Phantom Strike does need to try to figure out a way to make it out of here. They're going to pop ultimate, but there's the Manta to get out of the silence. Just needs anything to get back to. There he is, Yules up, trying to maybe turn this one back around, but now taking tons of damage. Jerax is going to go down. Now Vigos turning back around, gets the bash on a Valix. Down he goes, and 3 dead. That feels like it might be the beginning of the end for Four Anchors, as they cannot even kill Vigos.
All by himself. He's like 1v3 essentially as far as positioning goes. But Homo Man will be able to TP out of the clash down bottom against the Brew. They have taken the bottom tier 2, so that's something, but end of the day, they need like a Necro 3 plus another item on the Lycan to compete with the level of farm that we are seeing coming from the Radiant side.
Yeah, and now the Aegis is going to be going the way of the Radiant side, and that is not good. Vigos going to be picking up the Aegis here, and that might clear out an opportunity for them to actually be able to march onto the high ground, take down the tier 3s, and end this game quickly afterwards.
Just crazy offensive potential. They don't even need to worry about like armor. Like I was really saying that like Vlad's is the thing that they absolutely needed, but Tron hasn't been anywhere near systems, and it doesn't matter because they killed the Death Prophet so quickly. I actually haven't even seen Death Prophet use herself. She's been using a lot offensively, but I haven't seen a time where she had Exorcism up and was also using her own Tornado to her benefit. So she really hasn't been extending the play on her ultimate very well, and as a whole, she just hasn't been able to do nearly the damage you would expect from this hero.
Yeah, 7-7, rough game for Valix, and Moscow 5, just such an explosive start here. Vigos now up to 12-1. He is just playing so well. Manta style for the silence, making sure he can Phantom Strike out of there. Very smart item decision by Vigos. It just feels like there's nothing Four Anchors can do just besides trading towers. This is all they can do.
Yep, and they will try. They'll try to trade it out. Tier 1 for tier 2 is not great, but they can push pretty quickly. However, Vigos pops the double damage rune, and yeah, that's going to be the base breaker right here. That is a GG rune if I've ever seen one. Like, how do you even fight this?
It seems impossible. Now they're just going to march up to the high ground. Wards are down. Tron does have the ultimate blows here as well. There's the liquefier going down, and Valix can't get near this because Vigos will instantly kill him. And down goes the Rax as well, and feels like this just might be the end here for Four Anchors. We'll see how much they lose off of this push by Moscow 5. They're rotating toward the mid lane themselves, trying to take down the tier 2 tower, but Vigos still going to work here with a double damage rune. There's Tron creating space, pushing everyone back, able to use that Brewmaster ulti to just clear out everyone. Jerax going to go down here. Boots Bracer, all he has. Nope, he's still alive. Garter here as well. Vigos still going to work. There's the paralyzing cast. That puts up the Lycan into the air, who now gets Ice Bath down. That's one way to lock him down. Another tornado onto Vigos, who's still right-clicking away. Does not want to be distracted from the cause, except, of course, to stop and kill Matuma Man. Death Ward's going down, full duration. Boogie is going to pick off the Visage at the end, but now Vigos is wandering through the base with a double kill. Godlike Boogie taking damage. Tron taking him down. Vigos still just jumping through. Still has the Aegis. Is going to die here. Now respawning in just a second. Coming back up. Valix maybe going to try to turn this around, but cannot kill Vigos, I don't think, at this point. And down he goes. Triple kill. Can he turn this into the Rampage, I think, is the question. Not whether they'll win the game. Up in the air. Does not look like he's going to get it. Backing up. They do get 2 sets of racks, not complete sets, but that's still a huge win there.
And most definitely taking down 3 racks at this stage in the game just makes it almost impossible to come back. I was almost hoping that Lycan would just stay on the top lane. Matuma Man could have tried to keep pushing and maybe forced to TP back, but no, he just TPs into it and then immediately just gets controlled. The Cyclone from the Brewmaster, the Cyclone from the Yules, the Ice Path, it's just like they are able to actually make it so that he can do nothing in the fights until he's dead. And maybe that distracted enough cooldowns to keep that last Rax alive on the mid lane. The range still stands. But end of the day, maybe, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it would matter either way. If they take a tier 3 and half a Rax, it doesn't put Four Anchors in a better position, no matter the case. They just don't really have good options.
Yeah, continuing forward, there is a small tribute in Four Anchors base to the wonderful play of Matuma Man. Nice effigy there. I like those. Those are neat.
Do you make one yourself?
I have not made one yet. I looked through them and I couldn't make a decision.
Exactly. It's like the hardest decision I've ever
There's
made.
like
I'm gonna sit on my
8,000
second one
modes.
for.
I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones, but
What's the first one you made?
I made it's pretty cheesy. It's Sand King, give doo, and he's doing Sandstorm.
God damn it, please.
Of course.
God damn it. Well, 4 anchors have reverted for the rat mode here. Blink Dagger purchased stuff for Trixie. You're getting booed by our stats guy.
Sand King rocks, okay?
I think this is the only thing that 4 anchors can really do. Just trade towers, try to rat this one out. And Vigos would like to go to work on Matumba Man here. Does have the Abyssal. I do not think Matumba Man's going to make it out of this one. There's the Abyssal. Gets 2 crits and goodbye. Matumba Man, you were not long in this world, but does not have buyback. And that, I think that means the last tier 3 is going to go down here. Possibly
yeah,
the
he
game.
doesn't even get a chance to use his Necro 3. He bought the 2 recipes, but it was on cooldown for the last fight, and he died instantly for the second one. It's going to be a nice exorcism movement from Atholix, but it's not even going to bring down Axmo.
There, Trixie is dead. Vigos randomly picks him off, and now the wards are going to go down, and this feels like the end now for 4 anchors, and just this draft did not work out for them. They did not get the space they wanted. There's a death ward in the base by Garter, keeping them confined to the fountain, and there's Megas, and with it the game. GG is called, so they trade series 1-1. 4 anchors not able to make it happen in the second game. Well played by Vigos.
Very, very well played indeed. The PA got a lot out of that laning phase after her early mistake with the Crypt Swarm, but yeah, just in general, able to make the rotation she needed to. Like, you don't often see a PA that rotates to go for a 4v3 or 4v4 play about the 10-minute mark, but that's what Vigos did, and he was able to get a couple of kills off of that and start snowballing from there. 17, 1, and 6. Topping out the charts. Really, really nicely done from him. And they didn't have an answer. They didn't have a counter until they got a sheepstick on Furion, which was obviously an extremely long way off with Trixie's slow start. So good game, well played, and that evens it up 1-1.
And that's the conclusion for the first series of the day here on DotaPit. I'm What a Save from High Ground TV, and with me, Blaze and Montpax from the Standard Deviants at St. Dev Stats. You can see that one on the screen. But the next game coming up here in just a couple of minutes, hopefully at least, is going to be Sna versus the Hellraisers, and that's going to be scheduled to start actually in 45 minutes. So looks like that's going to be in a little bit. We're going to have to wait for that one, but thank you guys for joining us here on DotaPit. Blaze, any last words before we head to the break?
Well, it was great to see these two teams just going at it and doing what they could. I really think there's a lot of potential for 4 anchors in the future. They still kind of have to flesh out more strats than just the dominant Slark and the overwhelming Earthshaker roam. They definitely need to get a little bit more experience with like this kind of strat. It seemed like it was something they have done a couple times, but still need to flesh out a bit. Otherwise, I have high hopes for them in the future, a lot more than I expected when I saw the team lineup. They are really performing well, and of course we have high expectations for CM or Moscow 5, as whatever they may call themselves. So really nice to cast these games with you, man, and can't wait for the next match.
All right, see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.